Robert Marzano begins his book on classroom management strategies with the following. Teachers play various roles in a typical classroom, but surely one of the most important is that of classroom manager. Well-managed classrooms provide an environment in which teaching and learning can flourish. It takes a good deal of effort to create, and the person responsible for creating it is a teacher. This video aims to take a look at the effective classroom routines that utilize technology, specifically in the one-to-one classroom, and allow the teacher to reduce time spent in paperwork and redundant communication. The first routine is to teach students to use Outlook email to communicate with their teachers and with each other.
I email my teachers a lot. When I'm at home, I usually have a lot of questions because that's when I do my main homework, and so I email them whenever I have any questions or anything about my homework. It gives the teachers more time to think about the questions I give them, so I can get the best answer possible from them. And because sometimes during class, they might be busy, so they'll give you a answer, but they'll be rushed through it, I guess, and you'll be confused on it. So I prefer email.
The thing that's great about having email and the electronic features that our computers have is that the kids who typically aren't going to ask questions in a big group setting because they don't want to sound stupid or they, whatever, are a little more forgiving and willing to ask questions electronically. And so that conversation and dialogue that you're able to have with those kids who are notorious, not notorious hand raisers, is very beneficial for them. The better you know your kids, the more kind of feedback you know they're going to need. So if I've got a kid who I know, always does 100% on everything and doesn't really thrive on the feedback to, learn and improve, I'll send them, the quick email, hey, this was a great project, you did an awesome job, 100 out of 100. But those kids who are not quite meeting standard or who I feel need a little bit more of that feedback, it's a nice way to give myself some time to think, type out, okay, here's some suggestions, here's some things that you can do, which you can do on a traditional rubric, but a lot of times it's a lot easier to sit it out at a computer and type it out and send it.
The reality is there's a lot more questions, but they, as in my students, are able to answer those questions amongst each other quite a bit. So they're talking with one another to come up with the answers, and then I can step in and answer the bigger picture questions. It's very easy just to say, okay, you need to figure these things out on your own, and allow them to kind of, sift through it themselves through the virtual classroom. So I'd say 100% of my students benefit from utilizing a virtual classroom in an effective way. Now, in all honesty, I know that there are students that are using it better than others. I would also be honest and say that my higher students probably use it better than some of my lower students. But in the end, I can truly say that everybody's moving up. So my higher students would have been high anyway, but now they're even higher. And my lower students might have been here, but now they're here. And so by putting it out there, everybody is getting a better education as a result.
I feel even if I don't get back to the kids right away, I feel like it's a really beneficial habit for them to get into hey, I had a problem with this. I'm going to let my teacher know that when I go to turn this in, that she's aware that at 10 o'clock last night, I tried to tell her I had a problem with it. And not just, well, why didn't you ask in class? Or why didn't you come see me first thing in the morning? Because then I have that opportunity when I get here at 7 o'clock to shoot them back an email that they may check before they leave for school.
Actually understanding how to use the computer and how to use that to communicate with teachers and other people. And in the workplace, you've got computers that you use, and you can email fellow employees, and that will actually prepares you how to format those emails and how to use it and what you can do and what you can't.
My students definitely do read the emails that I send them because I get responses back from them, or they will talk about it the next day. Or if one person is reading it, they'll tell the other ones, hey, you need to see what Mrs. Hawk has just sent us because ... But they're always emailing each other too.
Teachers can also use the calendar feature in Outlook to help keep students organized.
So Outlook Calendar, how we use it in my class is I have all of my daily assignments that are put in Outlook, and they're color coded towards their class. And so my class is all blue, and it will say what we've done that day. And they can double click on it and see additional instructions if they choose. And then that's a shared calendar, and they can take items from that shared calendar and drag it into their own calendar, and it will automatically put it in the correct day, and they can have all of the details of that assignment. Normally I have at least the next 2 weeks in there that they have access to and can see kind of where we're going and some of that additional class information.
Well, we use the Outlook calendar more as a planner. The calendar helps a lot. You just drag their schedule for the whole week, and then you can add in your own stuff. That's school related, like my school clubs and stuff. I put on the dates, like for weekends, if I have a competition or something, I put those on there too.
All the teachers put their assignments on the calendar, and then we could drag it into our own, and then we could also like put in tasks that we need to do. So like sometimes when I'm working on it, I could like look at it and know, okay, this is going to be due tomorrow. I should probably work on that. And then also like when I'm dragging it over, because we have to, it's like it stays in like my mind.
Formative feedback is instrumental in the learning experience of a student. It can be effective in promoting learning if it is timely, personal, manageable, motivational, and in direct relation with assessment criteria. Many teachers find that using an electronic tool to collect and give feedback on assignments is not only a time saver, but also more effective. Students appreciate the more timely feedback that is easy to read and understand.
I have bad handwriting, so it helps to be able to turn in stuff online instead of having to write it out. I can just type it. And then like in the papers can get crumpled and go missing and stuff, and because I'm not really organized either, so it's just kind of hard to keep track of stuff. So it's much easier to keep track of things online. It's like harder to lose stuff.
So I tell them that it's greener. I don't have to collect paper, but I like that I know exactly when something's been turned in. I can organize it electronically in my email box. I can give them immediate feedback by zipping an email off to them. So if I'm grading an essay on a Saturday, I can grade it electronically and send it back to them that day, and they get the feedback. It's cleaner. It's also a medium that they understand. They're on computers, so they appreciate it. They understand the comments are attached to a specific sentence. Prior to using this method, I was writing comments down the page and on the back, and who knows what that referred to. They didn't know what I was talking about. My handwriting was is atrocious. So I just find this is a cleaner method. It's faster, and it's where they are. So I'm trying to speak their language.
And plus, the comments are easier to read because when, back in the old days when teachers used pens and stuff, they'd write comments and they'd be going down the side of the page. And now it's just easier to read. And yeah, you can really see the changes that they make and the difference it makes in your writing.
In elementary school, you don't know what your grade's going to be until the very, very end.
One of the key frameworks of the Anytime, Anywhere Learning Foundation's principles to success is to provide students with resources and protocols to engage in the content independently. Teachers who provide students access to an online classroom see significant gains in student engagement, productivity, and motivation, as well as a decrease in student confusion over assignments and projects. These virtual classrooms provide students with the resources to be successful beyond the hours of the school day.
In 6th grade, it would always be on the wall, but then if I forgot to write it down, I didn't have a way to get it, without trying to call up a bunch of people and say, hey, what was homework? And then sometimes they don't know, and then, so it's much easier to just be able to what was homework again? And go online and check.
The easiest way that I've found myself using the virtual classroom from day one was simply being able to post anything on our website that I do in the classroom onto the site so that kids can go home, share it with their parents, look it over, review what we've been talking about. It's almost like I'm going home with them because they have access to everything we've discussed in class. Through the years, I've gotten more advanced to where I might include my voice into some things, or I might have a video of me talking about something if that's really important. But at the very least, just having the PowerPoint that I showed in class available for them to look at again is going to trigger some thoughts in their head. And they go, oh, that's right, I was supposed to do X, Y, and Z. I forgot about that. And so it's wonderful that they're able to basically have the whole day available to them at any point when they're doing their homework that night.
He posts all your homework on Moodle, which is the interactive classroom online.
So it's really helpful to have access to that at home, because instead of carrying these big clunky textbooks, you're carrying around a laptop.
There's like description like read section, blah, to page here, answer these questions, put page numbers.
I also use a lot of Moodle with my students. And so I have my calendar in Moodle as well, and they can see my daily lesson plans that are in Moodle and available to them.
It kind of seems more easier to be, it's like more organized than keeping a planner or writing it down on paper.
Moodle, though, I think does a really nice job of containing everything. I mean, it's your Clear Classroom in essence is online. Your textbooks are there. Everything the kids need is there. And so if they are unable to get a hold of you as a teacher and their friends don't know the answer, a lot of times they can go back to Moodle and be like, oh yeah, I remember when we talked about that. Or, oh yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be doing tonight. And it's all there, easy for them to grab, download, save, organized. And so I think between Moodle and email, I really feel like those two work really well together. As far as, promoting that, 24/7, anytime, anywhere kind of learning feel that our kids are headed into.
Kids have digital access to textbooks online, so especially when it has anything to do with something we've gone over in text. The other thing I do a lot of is whenever I lecture, I provide not only a copy of my lecture materials, but also notes that I've taken off of lecture, and that's all available on Skyward, or last year when I did it on Swift, so that kids can get that stuff. Well, we're really lucky in this district, ridiculously so, with the access that we have to technology. So here with the one-to-one concept, one of the things that I myself and my partner teacher always do is everything we have students use is always in a digital copy. There is no such thing as a handout.
On Skyward, they give you the assignments. They have the calendar of all your assignments, and they'll tell you the grade of what you have, and they show you missing assignments and all that, and you click on it and they can give you information about it. And usually when I'm absent, I'll check on Skyward to see the work I'm missing and do it while I'm absent.